We are working on the first three movements of this kata. Stepping towards the individual that's trying to punch us. We are doing a high block with our left hand, making sure that the fist will be level with the top of your head, and you want to have a 90-degree angle. And we will be blocking outwards like that, and at the same time, our opposite hand will be coming up and as well, protecting our temple right across. So again, making a right angle this way and a right angle that way. Stepping into them, in between your legs, blocking, and then we'll be executing an uppercut towards their midsection with the hand that's up here, coming down, striking hard, making that person's head come down, and then we are gonna follow up with a hammer fist to the side of the head or to the neck. All right, so let's watch. So I'm here, I see him coming. My hands will set up, I will step in, lower my center of gravity, and drive up. The block gets deflected. The hand that's here comes hard underneath, striking the midsection. Person's head drops, follow with the hammer fist, and then back up again. When you're working on these techniques, I want you to break it down. There's three movements. That means you gotta have each movement down pat at 100% before you put them into combination. Even if you have to work on just the one hand coming up, making sure that that block is solid and it's doing its job. And then you work that second one. Just that movement, snapping it out. And then you add them to combination. Up. Right? So that way there you know what you're doing and your body's accustomed to going where it's supposed to go. Now, when you are working on each technique and you've done it slow and then you've done each technique fast, then you can add them in as a combination, right? And this is pretty cool because watch, we do a block and then we go low and then we go high. So we're fighting at two different levels. So that way there it's very smart. All right, so let's try to put it together. So I look, I see him coming, I'm gonna snap my technique into it because the block is very important. Without a block, without moving his hand out of the way, right, you're probably not gonna get the opportunity to strike and then strike, right? So I look, I get into a nice good back stance, in between his legs. I see him coming, 1, 2, 3. Work on that now. Good job. Karate is really cool because, or martial arts in general, because of the fact that we work always equal balance. What you do on one side, you gotta learn to do on the other, right? You always have a good fighting stance, but I like to believe that you have a good fighting stance and you have a better fighting stance. So you're never gonna be out of position or you're never gonna have that weakness. So once you practice the one side, and the brain is used to working that side, then you gotta set it up to go to the other side. So again, when we're gonna do the setup, we're gonna actually do it from the achi-chi position, from our ready stance position, right? Even though in the kata, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the kata, the movements are, as in a pattern. What matters is the movements itself. So I look to see that person coming. So now my right leg is gonna shoot out. In between their legs, I see him coming. I gotta make sure that block is nice and solid and this block is nice and solid. So again, if we need to break it down, please do so. If you need to go from here and block up, here, work that a bunch of times, and then you can work on this one, coming up. Again, coming up. Again, working on the speed and the power and understanding why you're doing it, right? If you understand why you're doing something, then you'll probably figure out how to do it, and then you'll know when to use it, right? So let's put it both together. So I'm here, I'm gonna set up, I see him coming. I block up, I'm in position. Now I'm gonna go underneath the uppercut, dropping his head down, and then striking. Again, I'm in my back stance, I'm moving forward, but if I get too close, then I won't be able to counter and strike. If I'm too close to him, I can't use my hammer fist or my uppercut as a weapon. So I stay just enough, far enough back that I can actually use my weapons properly. All right? So, watch it again. I'm looking, right? I'm going to break it down. We're going to go 1, and then we go under 2, and this is set up 3. Perfect. I want you to practice that, breaking it down, working it slow, then adding speed to your technique, right? And so that way there, muscle memory kicks in, and we know why, how, and when. You got this. Keep practicing. Now that you've worked on the first 6 moves of the kata and heian Nidan, the next movement is actually, it's not just a setup, but it's learning to get off the center line, moving, changing the angle that the person has you lined up at, and then countering with a quick side kick. Now that side kick can either go to the leg, midsection, or head, depending on your flexibility. I myself prefer to use my hands high and then use my legs to kick either midsection or low. So when I do that, right, when I change my angle, I do a quick side kick, and then I'm going to land back into a back stance. Now in my back stance, I'm in preparation because there's multiple attackers. But at the same time, I'm going to use my elbow, because once I kick his legs out, I'm going to use my elbow, because when you kick someone's legs out really hard, they're going to end up moving forward. When I do that, when that happens, I'm going to use my elbow and drive the tip of my elbow either into their side of their head or into their nose or into their pectoral muscles to push them back, to clear distance. So if I was like this on my last movement here, then from here, if the guy's coming here, I'm going to change my line of attack. I'm going to set up here. So I move over. The quickest leg is the closest one, is the right leg. I'm at him here. I'm here. At the same time, I'm going to extend my hand out as fast and as hard as I can, right? So I can use that as a weapon or a block. Maybe they're punching while they're kicking or whatever. When I'm here, my leg comes up. I drive it down on their legs. I bring it back, and I strongly hammer it with the elbow while being ready and prepared to face the next opponent. So let's watch it again. I'm here, I look, I slide up, change the angle of attack, extending my hand out, driving my leg as hard as I can, then watch it. I bring it right back in so that way there I have balance and stability. So I'm here, I kick out, here, and driving that elbow back as hard as I can in preparation for my next attacker. Practice that, break it down. If you need to work on even holding the wall, right, to work on your side kick and making your hand go out at the same time and bringing it back in and learning balance and stability, break it down. Do each movement, like I said before, understanding why, how, and when would I use it. You got this.